We've been here before and I'm sure we'll be here again. I shoot my content every single day in the middle of the night. Right now it's about 11:40 at night and I've just got that bad feeling that my little girl is going to wake up in the middle of this video. Sometimes she does it. It doesn't happen that often, but when she does, it's really frustrating for me. So I hope it isn't frustrating for you guys. What I'd always do if that happens though is I leave that kind of stuff in the video, so you can watch out to see if I duck out in the middle of this video to put her back down to sleep in the middle of the night. But enough about that. Let's just get into the shoe and see if we can get through this video without any interruptions, because it's an absolutely cracking shoe. It's my second Air Force One Craft in about a week, maybe a week and a half, but it's my third, fourth, fifth Air Force One in the last maybe 3 weeks. There's been quite a lot of them dropping, and quite a lot of the unique silhouettes, as well as colorways, as well as branding, as well as design, as well as materials. The whole lot is up for play in the Air Force Ones this season. And they're doing an absolutely grand job of making this shoe very, very cool. True to its 38-year history, but also with that innovation looking forward to the future as well, which is a great sort of combination for a silhouette. So, great looking shoe, great looking story. Very quickly though, I'm trying to help somebody out, and you guys need to help these guys out. They're worth it. Trust me, they're worth it. They had a channel that they built up and they spent ages working their X's off to get their channel nice and, you know, established, and then shoot, it was cut out from underneath them, and they're starting again, starting with scratch, you know, starting from zero to try and rebuild. And it's these guys here, AMZ Life Hong Kong, or HK. They are, trust me, they are great guys. And even if you don't know what they're talking about, which not many of us do, to be honest, they're still worth a little view and a little, you know, subscribe to their channel, because anyone who starts from scratch, you know, and tries to build it back up again is well worth a little bit of respect and a little bit of gratitude. So thanks to those guys for a great channel. Go over there, check those guys out. But for now, it's time for do this video and today's video at my channel, which is all about the upcoming release of the Nike Air Force One Craft Obsidian. This is the Tokyo Bada 23 Secret Channel. Tokyo Bada 23 Secret Channel des. Mainichi Upsuru no de, Mainichi Mite Kudasai. And every single day from Tokyo, Japan, I bring content about upcoming sneaker releases, sneaker news, and sneaker reviews. And today, what's in the spotlight is a Nike Air Force One Craft. This time it's the Obsidian. The previous one that I did was the Ridge Rock, and I'll be honest, I love the Ridge Rocks, whereas these guys are just a sort of standard as far as I'm concerned, but those Ridge Rocks were something else. And then also recent shoes that have caught my eye in the Air Force One line was the Peace, Love, and Basketball. Very, very cool shoe. I hope you appreciated that video and appreciate checking that one out. And then also the Wheat, which is a pretty unique Air Force One coming out as well. So those have been some of the recent Air Force Ones that I've done at the channel. But then when this guy came along, another craft, particularly with the colorway Obsidian, I was like, Obsidian gives me an opportunity to bring these guys out. Air Max and 97 bonehead, 95 95 Obsidian. And the thing about these guys is that the colorway says Obsidian, and it's starting to, the bubbles start to actually get a bit of discoloration in there. I've never worn them. I really should actually wear them before they actually fall apart. Beautiful shoe. Lots about Tokyo and Japan and stuff. If I lose the green screen when I zoom in on the shoe, you know, don't worry about that. It's just the zoom in on the shoe. But it's a Tokyo themed shoe, Mount Fuji. But it says Obsidian, and the big point that I want to make is that for me, Obsidian was this light blue color. And then here we are with this video today is all about this Obsidian Air Force One Craft. And I'm like, is that really Obsidian? So I don't really know, you know, why they chuck a title on a shoe. The biggest Obsidian shoe out there is Jordan 1, but it's got two blues on it, a light blue and a dark blue, and I don't know which one's the Obsidian, the light blue or the dark blue. So, but for sure this shoe, they're calling it Obsidian, and the Obsidian comes in on the swoosh and the heel branding, not black, just to be absolutely sure on that, because it does look kind of black, but it is one of the major features of the shoe that we're going to get in and get into today and look at as we take a look at this shoe, front to back, top to bottom, left to right, the whole thing. And that's what we're going to do right now. So we'll start out with the materials. I'm going to find a place to zoom in on the shoe, because for me this shoe is all about the quality of the materials, and I'll probably zoom in round about the quarter line, because there seems to be a little kind of irregularity in the quality of the leathers as you go across this shoe. There seems to be some areas that look like they've really got that like tumbled leather, supple leather, soft leather feel to them, and then others that look like they've got a bit more smooth leather rather than the sort of treated leathers going on in there. But either way, it's the high quality materials that make the Air Force One Craft line, and this is the latest version out of that, along with those ridge rocks that I talked about from a previous video. So we're zooming in on that material there, and hopefully it's not too hard for me to travel a little bit back from that and take in the swoosh on the lateral side of these guys, and it's a diamond finished swoosh. Now I wish that was actual diamonds on the shoe, but it's not. It's just so I think it's more like a carbon fiber effect that they're going for with this swoosh that's treated. The top of the material is treated to give it a sort of two-tone effect, but it's not actually carbon fiber, obviously, and it's not actually diamonds, but it's a diamond effect that they're going for, and that's true to these guys and true to the ridge rocks that dropped before, that diamond sort of carbon fiber effect that I was talking about. Now up to the tongues, and any regular viewers of the channel will know how much I love the Air Force One Craft tongues, because they simply say Air Force One, and I say it in every one of my videos about Air Force Ones, is that I don't like the regular ones saying Nike Air Force One, even though people call me out in the comments down below about that all the time. It's just sort of one of those little things that frustrates me, and it's one of those little things that I love about the Craft line, is that it just says Nike Air Force One up there, which is a big thing for me, so I like that a lot. And then if we travel down that white lacing unit, white tongue, the whole thing, to the bottom, to the Dubrays, you can see at the bottom there, it is that Craft branding on there instead of the regular Air Force Ones, which I think I'm right in saying is swoosh AF1 on the Craft, whereas it would just be AF1 on your standard Air Force Ones. And then just like the ridge rocks, the Dubrays have been treated a little bit differently, with a little bit more sort of, it's a bit more, there's a word for it, it's premium, but there's something a bit more about it than that. It's like elegant or something along those lines. It's just got that really nice quality touch to it. Now we're going to travel up to the heel in a second, but before we get to that, we get to the insole, where we'll stop just for a second and look at that white branding on the Obsidian blue insole. It's kind of a surprise how little blue there is on this shoe, because there really is only two places on the outside, the swoosh and the heel branding, and we'll get to the midsole in a minute and why that doesn't have colour in there, but the insoles themselves are one of the few places that also have a bit of sort of duality in their colour to give you a bit of contrast on the inside. And then, like I said, round to the back to that heel branding. Now I didn't notice this on the ridge rocks, and I might just have missed it, but it doesn't have any kind of heel branding on the back except for that diamond effect on the heel branding panel there, with no AF1, no Air Force One, no Nike, nothing like that on the back of the shoe, just the branding panel with nothing on it, which is perhaps deliberate, so it draws your attention below that to the unique Air Force One Craft, because that's the silhouette that we're talking. They've got that extra bit of branding below the branding panel on the back of these guys that says swoosh AF1 on the back, and that's in that beautiful premium leather material on that tag that hangs down there. So it's as I said in the ridge rock video, I like the balance between the small tag, which is almost the same size as the Dubrays at the front of the shoe, and those front and back sort of tags really sort of balance the shoe out. I think it's very cool, and also very sort of clean and premium. So and then onto the midsole outsole unit. I'm going to call it a triple white, even though you're probably not meant to say that in a Nike video, and what I'm talking about is it's probably more than that. It's probably quadruple white, because we've got the white stitching around the midsole that holds the midsole to the upper, and then you've got the midsole itself in white, and then you've got the outsole also in white. So those three places in triple white, not unusual on an Air Force One, but the place that I often talk about is the branding at the back, which says Air, and then has that line that runs from the lateral side around to the medial side. And I think it was the Wheats that did a good job of this, because they had the word Air in black for contrast, but that line not coloured, so it was still in that tan wheat colourway of that shoe, and that was kind of cool to see them put the branding on the Air but not on the line, whereas these guys, they've gone for that triple white effect, so or quadruple white effect, so the branding line and the midsole are all white, and you lose that definition. I think that's a mistake on this shoe, because there's so little obsidian or blue or whatever you want to call that up above on the upper, just the swoosh and the heel branding tab. Then I think they needed a little bit more in the shoe, and putting that Air on the side of the lateral side and the midsole would have been a good place to do that. And it would have sort of brought the shoe a little bit forward from just being a very sort of plain looking shoe. So finally back out, we'll look at the whole shoe. Like I was saying, it's a very nice shoe, very premium materials, very quality, and definitely, you know, one to look out for. I mean, the problem with this is it's going to be compared to the ridge rocks, and like I said already, the ridge rocks for me are the better shoe, a really nice shoe, and especially when you're talking about premium materials, things like brown or deeper colours help you to see those premium leathers, and that texture on there has got a bit of pop. But when it's white like this, it's hard for those premium materials to kind of shine through. So again, another reason why the Ridge Rocks would be my favourite or my preferred shoe over these Obsidians. But that's not to say these guys aren't cool, and also that high premium material. So if you're getting these, you're definitely not going to regret it, because it's a very, very fine looking shoe. Okay, I'm going to finish up how we started off, and that's with a shout out to my friends over at AMZ Life HK down in Hong Kong down there. Like I said, rebuilding a channel from scratch. I was trying to remember a poem earlier in the video by Rudyard Kipling called If, and it's all about, you know, how to be a stand-up person in this day and age, or any day and age really. And there's one line in it that talks about if you can like see everything you bet everything on one throw of toss or pitch and toss and lose, but then start again without grumbling about your loss, something to that effect. I can't remember the exact line, but that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about rebuilding from zero and starting again, which is something that AMZ Life HK are doing, and we should definitely support that. For now though, time for me to sign off. We didn't get interrupted, which is truly something I appreciate, although I'm hearing some kind of noises coming from through the house, so I better go check that out, see what's going on, wrap this video up. I'll say what I say at the end of every single video, which is remind you that I do this every single day, so you are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.